Hello all and welcome to Racing Experience. We are trying out the new content that released today from Sector 3. First up is going to be the Porsche GT2 Clubsport. We're doing a practice session. It's just all GT2s. We're at Zhuahi, and yeah, we're going to take this bad boy out and give some initial thoughts here. This is the first title I believe that has this car, so a little bit different sounding for a Porsche. One of the other things too released today is a little bit of some daytime progression here. So there are some updates to the times that you can pick instead of just a regular morning, noon, afternoon. You actually pick times of days. And then you pick the multiplier that you want as well too. So I put it at 10x. And this session starting at 6 p.m. Done some sound upgrades too. You can tell the curbs are a little bit different than before. Some new suspension damage modeling and flat spots on tires. I have a feeling I'm not going to have to try too hard to practice getting those and see how they feel. Some initial thoughts on this car so far after kind of an outlap is it's got a little bit of understeer on the throttle. And doesn't have, nearly the downforce of a GT3 car or the GTE RSR. And as you can see, we're sitting 12th on the timesheets. We have turned a couple laps, but before the video started. I was, as I'm sure many were, I was excited to see that the update was coming out today. I was looking forward to the M4 and also the new 911 GT3R. So we're going to give those a go too as well. And then to see some of the other updates they did, the release of the Ningbo track. That's in China. I know nothing about that track, so that's going to be another new track for me. Yeah, I still cannot figure out that first corner what the correct line should be, but also just it was kind of a big update, and a lot of what they did in force feedback physics, if I could talk. And then obviously the cars, and then the starter transitions. I'm guessing this is kind of a soft thing, see how it goes, and then they'll work themselves in at night. As they get into kind of GT heavy material, you're going to have to start doing transitions to keep up with kind of everybody else that's in the game. And endurance racing. So, and not to say that Sector 3 is behind in that regard. I think they kind of were mastering what they had and keeping focus on the things they did well and not rush something just to have it. Which I think a lot of us appreciate. Again, got some on throttle understeer there. I bet if we can get the car to rotate a bit better, that quarter won't be so tricky for myself. A little too much curb on the inside there. Ah, again got me. Yeah, felt a lot slower through there, but kept it on the track that time. So we're going to pick up some time here. Ah. Well, we were going to pick up some time. It didn't pick up much. Too deep there. Got on the grass on the braking, ruined that. So we're going to bring it in this lap. I want to show the garage because they actually have updated that as well too. And I'm sure a lot of you that have been following along and paying attention to the update and seeing some of the videos that have been out for the lucky people that were either home or in a different time zone. I was very jealous of them today, that's for sure, while I was sitting at work. But yeah, so I'm gonna pull in here and I'll show off kind of the garage. It looks a lot cleaner, and seems like there's a few more changes. I never really used to be honest, I never really used the setup garage that much in the first, or prior to this. I usually ran just baseline setup, and then, you know, with the adaptive AI, went from there. So we'll get out of there and we'll hop into the garage here, but in a car setup, sorry. And yeah, look at this. So this is a much cooler interface they're doing here with the setup portion. I won't admit that I know everything about it as far as that goes. So you've got the general here, and this is a very good looking car right here. And on the left here, it's really cool. It shows kind of your previous lap, so it shows your fastest lap, and it shows what lap that was and how you kind of were going along here, so you can scroll through that, which is really nice. And then it shows your last lap and backs you into it there, so you can see that. It shows on your, looks like your fastest lap here what your top speed was, your fuel usage, your estimated laps, and your maximum RPM. So it looks like here I'm losing a little bit RPM because I do believe if you go to drive line here, rev limit's 7,200. So I'm leaving just shy of 100 RPM there, but that's nothing in the world. It shows you tire pressures here, so that's great. You can kind of see how you're doing and adjust from there. I think all of this is really good information that you can use in the practice sessions or throughout the race weekend and kind of learn how to tweak the car that way. It's here. You know, iRacing gives you that kind of information, but you kind of have to go from one tab to another tab to get it. And then obviously we've got some changes here: brake bias, brake pressure, your fuel load, all that kind of stuff. Front end changes, anti-roll bar, your front downforce, and then here I made some quick tire pressure changes, try and combat that understeer. But rear similar, wing angle of 11. Electronics is pretty much all traction controls. I don't know much about the GT2 car. Like, I haven't learned it inside and out, so I don't know if it really has 6 traction controls on it, but that seems like a lot. Or if it's just variations, like progressions of it, and you can tune them up and down a little bit. And then the drive line, this is kind of cool when I clicked through before. So it shows you torque, power, all that kind of stuff like that, so you can kind of see how your throttle applications are. I'm sure spikes are not very good, so it kind of teaches you to, you know, be more gentle with the throttle when you're getting out of a corner. And then over here, RPMs, and it shows you kind of what you're doing, where you're shifting based on the gear as far as that goes, and where your speed is when you're hitting those shifts. And then normal gear ratio changes. The differential, I haven't figured out yet the power and the coast shift percentages. I don't know if that's based off of gearbox ratios, or it doesn't seem to change. I tried with preload, just messing around with it, and that didn't seem to make a difference as far as those numbers go, and I'm not sure exactly how to change those. So one thing that I'll still obviously be playing around trying to find, and then you can save your setups up here. So the car setup thing is definitely upgraded and looks really nice. They've done a great job with this. There's a lot of really good information here that you should be able to use to make yourself faster and better with making setups as far as that goes too, to also help yourself get the car to do what you want it to do instead of just kind of driving through whatever setup is given to you. So that is the car setup. And yeah, so that was a few laps in the GT2 RS Clubsport, and it's, I will admit, out of the release that was happening today, it wasn't the car I was most looking forward to because I don't know much about it. I did watch the Spa race that they had the weekend of the 24 hours, and it was alright, but I think there wasn't a lot of cars in the race, and Spa is a big track, so it was kind of like a whatever. They were all spaced out. There wasn't really any racing, so hard to like a car if you don't know it can race or not. But as far as driving goes, it's cool. It's a little bit tricky. The braking zones are a little bit longer in the car, so you can't go as deep. And yeah, it's a little bit of a handful. You got to get that on throttle understeer out of it, and I bet it'll be a little bit better, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So if you stay tuned, I'm going to be posting the other cars that got released. The 718 Cayman GT4 Porsche, the M4 GT4 BMW, and then the new 911 GT3 R. So I don't think I'll do the same track for them all, but definitely give those a go and get something up for you to see. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.